everyone. Watch till the end of the video for a surprise. I'll see you there. Story by u/mdevi75. This is kind of silly, but I still think about it frequently and try to figure out what happened. I was living in a 2-story house with my family, and I was putting my contacts in for the day. As anyone who's had to use contacts knows, sometimes they fall off your finger before they get in your eye. Well, my contact fell off my finger, and 9 times out of 10, I'll find it in the sink or the counter by the sink. I looked for it in the sink and the counter, even the floor. And when I couldn't find it, I searched my clothes and branched out to places that I didn't think it could possibly be. I searched for at least 30 minutes in that bathroom, which was not that big. I'd lost a contact before, and my mom had gotten really mad, and I didn't want to deal with that. Also, my vision is pretty bad, so I wouldn't be able to see with one contact. I was also in the bathroom alone and had the door locked, so no one could get in. Nobody came in, and I wouldn't have let them because I was afraid it was on the floor and that they would step on it and I would lose it forever. After a thorough search, I finally gave up and hoped fresh eyes later would find it. I walked down the stairs and went about my other business. A little while later, my younger cousin got up. He never went upstairs because only his sister and I had bedrooms up there. He was about 6, so he was just running around in the living room and kitchen while I complained about losing my contact. He came over to me and we talked a little. Then I stood up to go look for my contact again. And then I happened to look down at his curly hair and noticed something stuck in it. Well, you can probably guess. It was my contacts. I could not believe it. I have no idea how it fell in the upstairs bathroom and ended up downstairs in my little cousin's hair. Nobody in the house could explain how or why that happened.
Can you be stuck between 2 universes? By Reception Extension 82. I went for a hike a couple of days ago, and I think I may have shifted or I'm in between 2 realities since. Think the shift happened in the woods. Swore I saw my sister's dog run over the hill in the distance and not come back, so I'm calling for her. My sister and dad asked me what I'm doing. The dog is right in front of us and always has been. I tell them what I saw and we laugh it off, that I saw what happened in another reality. But nothing has been the same since. Like, my mom has been extra different to me. I'm visiting for a week. I live in a different state than my hometown. I asked for cupcakes and she, for the first time ever, got dairy-free ones for me. I have been dairy-free for 8 years. Washed a towel and bedding for me with fragrance-free detergent. I've been using fragrance-free for 8 years, etc. My niece has been clingy to me, like crying that I'm leaving, which the last few times I visited, she was just like, okay, bye. So besides everything feeling different since the hike in the woods, I saw a bug in my bedroom on the radiator. I went to pick it up with a random bottle, and I swear to God, the minute the bottle touched the bug disappeared. That's why I'm wondering if I'm stuck or transitioning or something where I'm seeing parts of one universe while being in another. Is this possible? I know, it seems crazy. Is there any way to know? Anything I should worry about?
Story by u/luridsun. I drink lots of water during work, while at home, even outside, and I carry and keep my water bottle beside me all the time, even while in bed. This morning when I woke up, I reached for the bottle and took 2 sips as usual, and then placed it back on the table where I always keep it. And then I went to check my phone, all while still in bed. 20 to 30 minutes passed and I reached for the bottle, and I couldn't find it there. I literally said, "What the hell?" Because I've been following this routine for years, and as long as I can remember, I've been seeing that bottle there whenever I wake up and check the entire room, thinking it must have fallen off and rolled into some corner. But the bottle wasn't there in my room. I immediately knew this was fishy. Once again, I checked the entire room and made sure that the bottle wasn't there, and it wasn't. I went to my workstation, which is the room right next to my bedroom, and there it stands on the table, on the exact spot where I keep it whenever I'm gaming or working. I just couldn't comprehend what had happened. I was fully awake when I took the 2 sips, and I still remember placing it back on the table. I never missed a night without taking a sip from it right before bed and right after waking up. This is my first time that I've experienced a glitch in the Matrix, and I'm still freaked out by it. Also, I have been completely sober this whole month.
Portal in the Woods by Masquerading Muppet. Hi, I'd like to ask if anyone else has had an experience like this. I've had a handful of weird things happen in the woods in the years I've been camping. This one and one other experience have both stuck with me a lot. So this happened in September 2017 in the Kettle Moraine State Forest in southeast Wisconsin. 2 friends and I decided to do a last-minute camping trip before the end of summer and classes getting into the full swing. I was going into my grad school year and my 2 friends were going to be seniors. None of us had been drinking when this happened. We set up camp and decided to go for a hike along the Ice Age trail that ran next to the campgrounds before it got too dark. We didn't leave with a specific plan in mind, but found a loop trail and continued on that. This section of woods had trails that were on top of a ridge, so there were steep drop-offs on either side. Not like you die if you fell, but pretty steep 20-foot hill drop more like, so you really can't go off trail. So the trail is probably 4 to 5 miles, and by this point we're going on our last mile, and the sun is setting. We didn't realize we'd take this long, so none of us had our headlamps with us. But that's fine, since we guesstimate we only have about another mile left or so. We round a small corner, and the trail ahead has a tree arching from either side of the path overhead, creating a doorway almost. That wouldn't be a big deal, except for the fact that the area of this doorway was shimmering. Almost like when you drop a stone into water and it ripples and sloshes a bit. We all stopped, and one of us said something along the lines of, "Am I dehydrated, or does that look weird?" That's the best way I can describe it, at least. We all saw it, but there was no turning back at this point. We only had maybe 30 minutes of daylight left, and couldn't go around and couldn't turn back. Finally, one of us, I think it was me, but I can't recall for certain, stuck our arm through. Nothing happened. It still look the same, shimmering like water or heat off the back top on a hot day. We all walk through and we're all fine, seemingly. We joked for a few weeks/days that we stepped into an alternate universe. I'm only friends with one of the friends now, and a few years later, I brought it up to her, and she just said she didn't want to think about it. It didn't impact me that way. I just thought/still think it was odd. Anyway, I've heard of stairs in the woods, but we can't be the only ones to encounter a portal in the woods.
Story by you/fanfiction music lover. I have reached to that conclusion time and time again for years. The conclusion? Well, my family likes to eat salads, such as a chef salad, a salad with lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, and croutons. My aunt came up with a dressing, and its dressing has olive oil, pomegranate balsamic, honey, mustard, salt, pepper, sweet paprika, garlic, and also onion dust. But we also love potato salad, especially my dad, and that's where the problem lies. For years, my mom made the potato salad's dressing. It had mayonnaise, ketchup, a bit of mustard, and a few drops of lemon juice and pomegranate balsamic. In the salad, besides the potatoes, we added Gouda cheese, boiled eggs, and cold cuts, and that's it. That's how my mom always made it. Then one day, back in 2016, my mom realized that we had a few years that we hadn't made potato salad and decided to surprise us by making some, along with the sausages a family friend had brought the previous night that my parents had a sort of get-together with beers and various snacks. So, Mom surprised us with a potato salad. But it was not how she used to make them. I commented on how the taste was odd, and she had added tomatoes, green and red peppers, and raw onions, and didn't add the Gouda cheese and cold cuts. Then, both my dad and sister looked at me confused and said that the potato salad was the same as always. I, then baffled, asked my mom how she made the salad, but she just smiled and said that a cook never reveals their secret. This past Monday, aka May 23, 2022, I had to help my dad to cook lunch, aka the potato salad, which we had a long time to eat again. Since my mom had hit her knee and she was in pain and was busy sewing old clothes, I helped Dad with cutting the onions, the Gouda cheese, and preparing the eggs, while Dad cut the tomatoes and peppers and potatoes. And when we were done with all of this, Dad asked Mom to give us instructions on how to make the salad dressing. Mom went on to tell us, but I was baffled. The salad dressing, according to my mom, was mustard, pomegranate balsamic, salt, pepper, a spice mix, and olive oil. I was so confused because she didn't even add ketchup as she usually did. Or at least, that's what my taste buds tasted. Mom usually added more mustard and ketchup to the potato salad when we couldn't afford mayonnaise. But she never added onions and peppers or held the Gouda cheese and cold cuts. Confused, I asked my mom why she had changed the recipe, and both my parents looked at me angrily. Too angry for just the recipe, and they started to yell at me for making a big deal about the salad. I hadn't made a big deal. I just found it weird that I had to cut raw onions, peppers, and tomatoes, and Dad hadn't bought a mayonnaise for the salad, but I never voiced it. I had just furrowed my eyebrows, but kept following Dad's orders, thinking that my parents might have decided to shake things up and attempt something new. I grew hurt when my parents accused me of making a big deal about it, when in fact I hadn't. I defended myself by saying that I hadn't said anything and that I was okay with trying some new recipe. Then Dad grew even more annoyed and yelled at me that I was talking about a new recipe. I went on to tell them about how we usually ate the potato salad, and they looked at me as if I told them that I had signed myself up to join the European Space Agency while I have failed physics and chemistry. Mom said we never ate potato salad with mayonnaise or ketchup, but I persisted that we did, and the only time that we didn't was back in 2016 after that get-together. Dad sighed angrily and told me with an angry tone to stop being obsessed with mayonnaise, and if I didn't like the salad, I could cook something for myself, but we have never eaten a potato salad with mayonnaise. I gave up, and I just ate the salad, which wasn't bad, but it wasn't something that I would like to eat again, or at least I wouldn't add the tomatoes to it and add ketchup. I have many times butted heads with my parents about the way that they are making salad dressings in the salads that we usually eat, and every time they say that I'm wrong and that we have never eaten the salad the way that I said. Most times, I just give up and chalk it up to me remembering it wrong, but now, I'm 10,000% sure that we have never eaten the potato salad like that again. Am I remembering a different timeline's potato salad or salad dressings?
The Night Sky Disappeared by Masquerading Muppet. Thought I'd post my other unexplained glitch here as well. Like I said in my previous post, I've seen/felt a number of weird things in various national parks, BLM land, and national forests. I'm actually going to get my wilderness first responder certification this March because of some of the unease last summer in a remote park. But really, only this and my other posts could be described as a glitch in the matrix. I did a volunteer program after college, and we frequently went on nature retreats as a big group. This happened in November of 2018 at a campground just east of Mount Rainier National Park. It was so remote that no one in our nearly 50-person group had cell phone service. Our only tie to the outside world was a ranger that came to check on us once a day. We weren't allowed to have alcohol or drugs at these retreats. So no, none of us were intoxicated in the slightest. There were a couple cabins throughout the campground, and if you walked through the trees a bit, there was a sizable lake. A few friends/housemates and I went to look at the night sky because we knew it'd be full of stars. This is Washington State, so all the trees are massive and block out most of the sky. The only place we'd really be able to see the stars would be over that small lake. So we headed down to the lake area, despite it being pretty cold. There's 2 logs there for us to sit on as well. We settled in, waiting to see some shooting stars. It was a running joke in our house that we need to see 5 shooting stars when camping/in the woods in order to fall asleep. 4 out of 5 of us in this group all lived together at the time. So, we are all steadily watching the night sky for about 10 to 15 minutes when this happens. It only happened for maybe half a second, but we all saw it. For the shortest moment of time, half the sky went completely white. Just stark white, like a sheet of paper was placed over half of the night sky, right down the middle. After a moment, one of us said, Did everyone see that? We all confirmed what we saw. If you read my last post, you know that I, of course, was wanting to figure out what it was. I never found a solid explanation. And similarly with my other friends, these friends also told me to stop talking about it whenever I brought it up months/years later. It wasn't scary to me, just again, super odd, and I didn't have an explanation for it. It made no sound and was gone before any of us could comprehend it beyond what I described. It wasn't lightning. I'm from the Great Lakes region, so I know lightning. It wasn't an airplane. No idea.
Story by u/pastel_dreamer. Okay, this happened a while back, but I decided to share it. I remember sitting on the couch just watching YouTube on my phone when I got a craving for barbecue chips. I thought of the spicy barbecue chips my mom just bought, and I made a beeline for the kitchen. I was watching a murder mystery podcast on YouTube, so I brought my phone with me because I wanted to keep watching while I grabbed a bowl of chips. I sat my phone down on the center island and paused the video before turning around to face the cabinet with the bowls inside and grabbed a bowl and opened the cabinet with the chips with my other hand. I then opened the bag and proceeded to pour the chips into the bowl and had a thought like, imagine if I turned around and lost my phone. Because sometimes I lose my stuff stupidly. After I put the chips away, I grabbed my bowl and turned around to face the island again. And lo and behold, my phone was gone. Honestly, I jumped a bit because I literally had a random thought about my phone going missing, and now it suddenly is. That was weird. Maybe I sat it behind a flower vase? I checked behind it. No. Maybe it's on the counters. I checked around and still nothing. I was absolutely dumbfounded. There was no way that I had left it on the couch because I remember walking to the kitchen, phone in hand, watching the video, and then placing it on the empty island table, and then pausing the video. I decided to go back to the couch and look there. I checked under the pillows, cushions, under the couch, and around the whole living area, and nothing. My phone was gone. It was like it just disappeared out of thin air, and I was confused as hell. I then called upstairs to my older brother and asked him to call my phone so that I could find it, and he did. 7 seconds later, I hear buzzing coming from the couch and my phone is on the top of a pillow in plain sight. I stared at it for a bit before picking it up and declining the call since I had found my phone. And to this day, I still have no idea how the hell my phone ended up there.
I went missing for 2 hours at my intern workplace. By unidentified OP. So it's my second day there, but I have found the basic needed facilities, like the toilet, staircase, lift, emergency exits, and so on. For the level I'm on, the toilet is one way, so there is a corner you turn to get to the toilets. At this corner, there is a camera that points away from the door. So if you have to go to the toilet, you would naturally pass by the camera twice. I got to the office, set down my things, and went to use the toilet. I finished my business and headed back to the office, where I see my supervisor and the other person I'm supposed to be shadowing. The rest of the people in the team were also staring over my stuff, talking and looking concerned. When I entered, one of my friends, who was also an intern at this place, saw me and honestly said, "She's back," with so much relief. I looked very confused and said I just went to the toilet. My supervisor just said,
"You were in the toilet for 2 hours?"
I was like, "What? No, I was in there for 10 minutes max."
"Then where have you been?"
We all thought you were missing.
What? I just got here and went to the toilet. Did no one go and check the toilet?
"We did, but no one was inside it."
What?
"Well, at least you're okay. Back to work."
I was still confused, but brushed it off. During some free time in between tasks, I went to the security office and asked to see the camera footage of the toilet on my level. He showed me, and I saw I had only passed the camera 2 times, and in between them, I saw one of my colleagues go into the toilet and come out a few minutes apart. I thanked the officer and went about my work. So yeah, I disappeared for 2 hours in my workplace toilet that only had 1 entrance and 1 exit. Edit number 1. There are so many comments asking if this was the first time. Sadly, this isn't the first time. It's happened almost once every semester on campus. The longest I disappeared for is like 8 to 10 hours. My friend is well aware of it. I've had medical screenings done and psychological evaluations, but everything seems normal. The toilet also has 3 stalls, but my coworker swears she opened all 3. Edit number 2. Thanks for all the awards. People have been asking for more detail about the camera footage, so I'm not able to get a copy of it due to actual security issues, but here's some of the details about it. The video is timestamped with the time and hours it has been recorded. I went in at 8 hours 34 minutes and came out at 10 hours and 30 minutes. My colleague went in at 9 hours 1 minute and came out at 9 hours 8 minutes. The camera caught both of us going in and coming out. I did ask if they could check the rest of the cameras along the corridor from the toilet. They did, and it all showed I was missing for 2 hours. I specifically checked the camera in front of the office door that looked partially into the office and the corridor outside. The camera did see me walk through the corridor to the toilet and back from it. The only thing odd was that the camera kind of shifted a bit for a few seconds to a minute, like it kind of glitched. It was at the 9 hours and 12 minute mark. But there's no way I could have exited the toilet and walked back to it without the other camera at the office door catching me, or for the fact that I could have gone out past the office or walked around and went back into the toilet in about a minute.
And here are the top comments for my last video. Welcome to Miss Creepy Tales Riddle Time. If you know the answer, feel free to leave it in the comments. And the winner gets to be featured in the next video. I am known to be bad luck when you see me in the dark. And oh, how I hate the rain. But one thing is for sure, you won't hear me bark. What am I? Hello everyone, it's your creepy sister here. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate each and every one of you. But I would also like to thank my amazing patrons, my top tippers, and my dearest channel members. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it with all of my heart. If you want to support the channel further, you could also choose to become a patron, a tipper, or a channel member. But remember, it's appreciated, but never a requirement. I would also like to announce that we have merch now. The link is in the description of the video, along with all my other social media links, like my Discord server, Twitter, Instagram, and others. You can connect with me and send your stories there. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and comments are highly appreciated. And remember, your fear feeds me.